What's up, folks? My name is Thomas Payton, president of the Canton Chamber of Commerce, and you are tuning in to the Canton Chamber Business Spotlight. What's up, Canton? Welcome back to this month's edition of the Canton Chamber Business Spotlight program. I'm your host, Thomas Payton, president of the Canton Chamber of Commerce. On our set today, we have with us a man that I feel needs no introduction here in the Canton community. We are here with Bart Patterson of Remax Classic. Bart, how are you today?
I'm great, Thomas.
Yeah, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me.
Love to be a part of this, yes.
So Bart, you are Vice President and General Manager here at Remax Classic, correct?
I am. I've been here 23 years now in the business. Yep.
Okay, awesome. So Bart, how about we, before we actually get into the real estate side of things,
sure.
How about we talk about the man first,
okay.
right? So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, born and raised in Garden City, so I've been very familiar with the area.
Sure.
And first house was here in Canton 34 years ago.
Okay.
So very much a part of the community and have been involved in the Canton Chamber and a number of other organizations throughout the community.
Right,
Yep.
Awesome. We had a chat or a chance to chat a little bit before we actually stepped
Yep.
on set here. And Bart, you mentioned just about being a member of the Chamber. You've been a member of our organization for longer than I can even remember, but we know that it's been around 20 years with the Canton Chamber.
Yep.
But you've been such an integral component of this community. Not only have you been involved with the Canton Chamber organization, you've been on our board, has served as chair of the Canton Chamber a few times, I believe, but you've been involved in some other community organizations as well. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So actually I had the privilege of sitting on the chair, as chair, actually for 2 years for the Canton Chamber, which was awesome, and on the board for, I believe it was well over 8, maybe 10 years.
Sure.
Involved with the leadership program,
Mm-hmm.
A graduate of the Leadership Canton program, and then decided to be a participant and teach some of those classes.
Yes.
So that was a great opportunity as well. Also currently sit on the Canton DDA, and was part of the Canton Chamber when we first started that, part of when IKEA came to town and the DDA really started its marketing focus with the Canton program, was very involved in that.
Yes.
And introducing a lot of the businesses up and down Ford Road, so that was kind of cool. And now I also sit as the chair, it's been the second year in a row now, for the Partnership for the Arts and Humanities and the Village Arts Factory program down at Cherry Hill and Ridge.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So as mentioned, very ingrained in the community, very knowledgeable of the Canton community and the various organizations that are here. So it's always great to have a person like yourself that's not only a resident, but an active, involved resident in the community. And I think that obviously leads into just how of an asset those things make you in your professional career as well.
Well, I think that it's really important. Obviously, I make my career from the community by selling real estate.
Sure.
1 yard at a time, if you want to consider it that way. But what's really important is it's part of the process. I need to know what's going on in the community. I need to be giving back to the community that's sharing its wealth with me. I think Canton has a tremendous amount of services available for their people that are here.
Absolutely.
And so why not be involved? It gives me an opportunity to meet more people and to make a difference within Canton. So I think that's really important, and the Chamber was a great stepping stone for that.
Sure, excellent. So Bart, let's now talk a little bit about the real estate side of things. You're a wealth of knowledge in your profession. So just kind of tell us just how you have, how you got started maybe in the industry, and just kind of take us on your journey.
Long story short, been involved in sales for a lot of years. Actually, my degree is in electronics, and I sold computers before I even got started in the real estate. And I was selling computers to a gentleman who was in the real estate business. He worked at Ford, and he was opening his own real estate office, Remax Classic. And so when he first did that, I was one of his first employees. He said I needed to be in the real estate business, and things were changing in my industry. So I made the jump, and here I am 23 years later.
Okay.
So it wasn't something that I really had on the plan, but has really been a great process for me. So very excited to be a part of it. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, Bart, as far as the, you were just mentioning to me a few moments ago about the educational components that you are very involved with within the real estate industry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Education is really key for me, and it has been in all of my careers. Obviously, in computers, education was important. In fact, I was teaching service training and things like that. Okay. So that was kind of a leader part of it. Then the Leadership Canton program, so that was an educational component. And when the real estate portion came along, I thought it was very, very important to understand the real estate business as much as possible. So if you look after my name, I've got a alphabet soup, if you want to call it that, a bunch of letters, and they all mean something. I carry 20 certifications and advanced designations.
Wow.
What those all mean is they're specialized training in specialized markets of the real estate. So they could be of commercial, they could be investments, they could be green technology, understanding energy efficiency homes, pricing strategies, working with buyers, working with sellers, working with the senior communities. Every one of them is a very special niche market to the real estate piece. So I felt it was very important to have that knowledge. First, as Vice President and General Manager for my agents, they're coming to me with questions, so I want to have that knowledge. And second, to my client, every time you look at the 23 years of experience I have in the business, but then you look at the advanced designations and the education, that takes it to the next level.
Absolutely.
So that only makes me more professional at what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's great. And so I was just very impressed when you mentioned that earlier. I know that education and training has always been I think it's in your DNA because you're really good at it. And so knowing that the depth of knowledge that you have in the industry is very impressive. So how about you tell us a little bit about maybe your operations here in the community?
Sure. Well, Canton, or Remax Classic, we have 7 locations, Canton being one of our locations. It was one of the original. Okay. We have another location up in Farmington Hills, which is our corporate headquarters. We have 7 total, and we have about 200 agents within those 7 locations. We are the #1 Remax office in the state of Michigan. Okay. We're very proud of that, and we base that a lot on the education of our agents. Yes. Because we do run 3 to 4 educational programs a week. So there's always training going on for our agents, and it's of different levels to help them get their business to the next level, to teach them specific niche pieces. Sure. We have a new education program for brand new agents getting into the business, so we're real excited about that. We've set ourselves up as a school to help a new agent who's gotten their license get successfully started on a real estate career and make sure, again, that it's at that professional level.
Right, so. Awesome. So you heard it here, folks. You have the #1 Remax right here in the Canton community.
That's right.
And so we are proud to boast that. So Bart, could you also maybe tell us, obviously since we're talking about real estate here, could you tell us a little bit about what are you seeing in the Canton market?
Yeah. So for a long time, let's say the past couple years, we've had a reduction in inventory. Okay. Prior to that, I would say late 2016, maybe even 15, there was probably 500 homes at any given time within Canton alone on the market. The last couple years, it's been lucky if we've hit 200. Wow. So that's a pretty big reduction in inventory. Sure. And obviously that's helped drive the price up. Sure. Homeowners that are selling, good for them because they're getting a better return on their investment. But it's also made it more difficult on the buyer side because now everybody's paying a higher price, as well as in a competing market where they're competing against many other offers on the table, not just one, but a lot of scenarios. I had one last year, we had 12 offers in a matter of 24 hours. Wow. So very, very competitive marketplace. So the process for the consumer, we have to be ready to give them far more education on what they're doing. Our job is not a sales job. Our job is an education job to give you the tools you need to make the right financial and business decision for you. That is the most important piece. It's not to sell you on a house that you don't really want to buy. Sure. It's to sell you on the house and make sure that you have all of the things and opportunities setting the expectation for you, because this should be a logical decision, not an emotional decision.
Right.
So those are when business decisions are made. When it becomes emotion, that's not really a good business decision in most cases.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in most cases, that's no matter what decision you're making, you always want to make it off of a reasonable and logical standpoint, and not an emotional one.
Right.
So, and especially that's the case when it comes to purchasing a home. So Bart, maybe as we kind of wrap up round out our discussion here, what are maybe some tips you may be able to leave with our viewers, whether they are in the market to sell or purchase?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things today where people are getting rated. You can go to Realtor.com or Zillow, and they have all these ratings about who sells the most and things like that. Honestly, I don't think it's about who sells the most. It's who has the most satisfied client.
There you go.
It's not about sheer numbers. We all do a lot of the same things, but I want to make sure that every client that I work with is satisfied in my customer service, because that's really what it is.
Sure.
Giving them the education they need in that process. If it's all about numbers, then that customer service goes away, because I really want repeat clients. I want to work with their children,
Sure.
Create that client for life. Very, very important. So it's not, to me, a numbers game that I got to have 60 sales this year. It's about making sure that every sale I have is satisfied and that they're willing to refer me out as one of the best agents that they've ever worked with, and that we're going to continue to do that business. So I think that's really, really number one. We get, what's the word I'm looking for? Waylaid by those rating scales. And I don't think that's the right way to look at it. Secondly is look for the experience and the education. Those alphabet numbers or letters after my name are important, and a lot of other agents have those, and that's great. But there's a lot of people who've been in the business 20, 30 years, and they don't have any, but it's all experience. And I think that experience is good, but there's a part of it, because every deal is different. Every opportunity is different. Sure. So in 23 years, I haven't written the same purchase agreement twice. The circumstances have all been different in every deal that's been done. So having the breadth of knowledge is very, very important, and something to pull out of the bag when I've never experienced this before, but I know that it's there and I can use it.
Yeah,
so
great.
That's really important.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful, Bart. I think for the viewers that will be tuning into this segment will be, I think, thoroughly convinced that if they are in the market to buy or sell, then this is the place they should come.
I hope so.
Absolutely. So given that,
Yep.
that's the case, how can people reach out? What's your phone number or website? How can people contact you?
Sure. Well, the first thing to do is, obviously, the office is on Ford Road.
Yes.
It's in the what's called the New York Strip Center. It's just behind the Panera Bread. The actual address is 42078 Ford Road. Our phone number here is 734-459-1010. My personal cell phone number is 734-634-1600. If you want to go to my website, you can look that up too. It's at www.foryournexthome.com.
Okay, perfect. So there you have it, folks. If you're in the market to buy or sell your home, please reach out to Bart Patterson here at Remax Classic. Again, thank you for tuning in to this month's edition of Canton Chamber Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Thomas Payton, and we'll see you next time.